So there's one last, this is usually a build, by the way, thinking in terms of pipeline revenue. So it's not just, we're generating leads. Based on the average value of a customer. So say I was getting ready to propose to my girlfriend. This was back in 2011 or so. And I downloaded The Guy's Guide to Jewelry. I found their ebook off the internet. I downloaded it. If the average ring costs, we'll say $100, which it didn't, but let's pretend that engagement rings only cost $100. And 10% of the people who download this ebook end up buying. That means that each ebook download is worth $10, right? So that's a very, very straightforward way of doing the math to say, what is each lead worth? That's the cost of lead acquisition that I told you earlier. And that is what lets marketing teams, this green line here is the sales team's quota throughout a given month. And the marketing team's job is to cover the sales team's quota. So based on all the different things that we're doing, we're assigning the different traffic sources, the different personas, the different conversion events. We're assigning them different dollar values. I'm adding those up on a daily basis, and I'm making sure that the sales team's quota is actually covered. If this blue line is trending below what the sales team needs, then what that means is that based on the historical performance of my funnel, the sales team is not going to hit quota. Ignore this, like, yes, I downloaded their ebook and yes, I bought from them, because usually there's a slide after this that says, yes, she says yes, picture of our wedding. It's great. One more thing I want to cover. The cadence at which you measure things matters. We've talked about statistical significance. We've talked about the funnel, the buyer's journey, buyer personas, etc. The things you can measure faster. Why I care about Net Promoter Score instead of just waiting 12 months to see what the retention was. Why I care about sales reps rating leads instead of just waiting to see if they close them. It's because the things that I can measure faster let me iterate faster. And the speed at which you are measuring and optimizing your business is the absolute speed limit at which you can improve and grow. If you're only measuring things quarterly, you can't optimize faster than quarterly. You can't, but if you're trying to measure things daily, it's a smaller sample size. It's harder to do. So that's the balance you have to take into account. And I'll show you, this is a screenshot from a planning doc I did. This was years ago. But basically, like, how much money are we spending, impressions, cost per impression click, the click-through rate on the ads, the visit to lead conversion rate, my cost per lead, all this stuff that we've talked about. What's the CAC? The CAC, I could only calculate monthly with confidence because this business had like a 3-week buying cycle. So I could calculate monthly. But the click-through rate on the ads could be optimized daily, right? Hourly if we wanted to. And so I had different, what's called a DRI, directly responsible individual. Like, I was the head of marketing. And so my job was I was accountable to the CAC number. And I could optimize that monthly. But I forget who MT was. That's a acronym for somebody that was on the team. But them and Harry, Metric Theory, they were an agency. So the agency and Harry had all these daily goals that they were reviewing, that they were optimizing based on. And they were supposed to be getting better every single day. And then MK, who was running that team, her job was to make sure that these metrics were being solved for on a weekly basis, because we could solve for, the average time it took a lead to become an opportunity was 5 days. And so she should know within a given week if there's an aberration up or down. And so she would check that metric every week. And then I didn't sit there and refresh the marketing CAC data every day, because that's not useful. I would refresh it every month. So one last thing I want to show you guys, cash flow. This is sort of a joke, right? Like, you buy money, or you raise a bunch of money, you get Office, you get Max t-shirts, stickers, and then like later you get like your Amazon instances and your marketing budget's somewhere over here. Be very efficient with your cash flow when you're a startup, because you can grow yourself out of business even if you have a ROI positive LTV to CAC. This is a screenshot from, again, my startup that I'm working on right now, where I show the various expenses that we have versus the revenue that we have. And then this number is how much money we've consumed, balancing revenue and expenses. And these are the assumptions that we're baking into our model, et cetera. Though we had a profitable LTV to CAC, if I only had $200,000 on hand, I would have run out of money, right? And so this is something important for investors to know and for you to know, which is how good are we doing at scaling or at controlling our cash flow. That's the end.